I hope not. Anyway, I want to welcome y'all here. As is customary, we like to open our court meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance. If y'all would stand, I've asked a young man that's with us today, Gabe Baker, if you would care to open us up in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Go ahead and call our meeting to order. First item on the agenda will be the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. You gentlemen have all received a copy of those. Do you have any recommendations or changes? A motion to accept the minutes?
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Motion carries. All right. Next item on the agenda is something we always get excited about. It's a program we started last year, and we were planning on keeping this going. It's an opportunity for us to recognize our children, and not just any children. These children have been selected among their schools. It's called our Junior Colonels Program, and we approached all the leaders of the schools, the elementary and middle schools, and said we're looking for a young boy, a young girl who exemplify civil service in the school, and basically those children are people who are giving of themselves sacrificially to their friends, to their teachers, and just do all they can to help out wherever they are. And so this group of people we're going to recognize today, I'm going to say are some of your future leaders here here at home and across the state and maybe even the nation. So we want to recognize them. We're so proud of you for your achievements and for your serving hearts. And so with no further ado, we'll recognize these individuals with us today. And if you would, I call your name, I've got a certificate for you. It's a Pulaski County Junior Colonel certificate, so you can take those and hang those up if you want. Just put them away and be proud of it, and just know that you've accomplished something that very few do. So we'll start off. I want to, from Eubank Elementary, I've got Hayden Van Hook, Cameron Keith. Y'all come forward here. Let me pass these out. Nancy Elementary, if y'all just stay here, we're going to get a group picture, okay? You might want to go up to all right. From Nancy Elementary, we've got William Gregg and Kelsey Lawhorn. From Pulaski Elementary, we've got Aiden Chang and Haley Durham. From Shopville Elementary, we've got Haley Lopez and Keith Taylor. From Southern Elementary, I've got Savannah Torres and Adam Edwards. From Meese Middle, we've got Keith Jasper and Trinity Burkett. From Northern Middle, we've got Dalton Bertram and Morgan Bruin. From Somerset Christian, we have Kelsey Miller, Keegan McDaniel, Lydia Fisher, and Gabe Baker. And what we're going to do today, part of this junior colonel program is they're going to see our court meeting, obviously. Then we're going to have them a little pizza party right after the court meeting. And after that, they're going to go out into different departments, and they're going to shadow different department heads and what they do on their normal day-to-day business. And so they'll be getting to experience government from a perspective that most of their peers and other students don't get to see. So we're glad to have you with us today and hope you learn a lot. And we're going to challenge you to rise up and take our positions someday, because we're dependent on good, bright children to grow up and be our leaders. So thank you all. Let's get a picture together, and then we'll recognize them one last time.
Get the small kids in the back.
Masters, you want to gather around the back here?
Okay, let's see. Why don't you trade places with Aiken there? Okay, can everybody see? Oh. Over a little bit where your face is right here. There you go. If you can't see the camera, she can't see you. Okay, and then all the kids, everybody, all the kids, just kind of do a little, just a
Bend at
little
the knees.
squat.
Bend at
your
the knees.
Just a
Bend at the
little.
knees.
Bend
There
the
you
ones
go.
in the back.
Row,
Bend the
not
ones
the
in
back row.
Count of three. One,
That didn't go well. They didn't listen to me.
one, two, three.
All right, congratulations, girls and boys, for this achievement.
Put that down, and then we'll have pizza as soon as this is over, okay? Just gotta make it through it. Real quick.
You must
We think
endure.
the same thing. Yeah, we feel the same way.
All right, next item on the agenda then will be our old business. We have a resolution that we talked about last meeting. We needed to make a couple of changes. Martin, you've done.
We did that, yep.
Okay, so we've got this aviation, Summit Aviation Resolution. Entertain a motion to approve that.
Motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda then will be opening of sealed bids, and we've received
Looks like,
a couple of bids here.
yeah, this is for what?
At New Haven Road Bridge Project.
Okay. So here's the specs, here's a newspaper ad. They had to be time-stamped, by 10 a.m. today. Looks like. And both of these were time-stamped in a timely manner. First bid is from MAW Development. It is for $35,500. This one is from E&H Bridge and something. E&H Bridge and Grading, Inc. It is $37,603. The specs are contained here in the file folder. If the court wants to accept these for review, and make sure they both meet the specifications.
Take a motion to accept these for review.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Do we need to do that in a hurry today? Is that something y'all want to get moving, or you want to wait till next meeting?
You want to get them built this winter? We're going to, better get them on.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go ahead and have a committee
review.
meeting. Mr. Price, would you?
Ready to talk.
Yep. Would you and, we get Jordan, and Ryan, would you, y'all care to go, There's one, I guess one of y'all needs to be here for the road committee. Let's, Leslie, would you go with those two and make sure those,
Keep them straight.
Somebody's making them.
all right, then we've got our next item on the agenda then will be our department reports. Sheriff, you have anything? Like, guys, I'm ringing up here, is that? Y'all hear that?
I heard it.
I'm humming, I don't know about ringing, I hear something.
I don't know if that's gonna show up on the video or the audio or not, but.
I don't have anything, Judge.
Okay. Jailer with us today, I didn't see Mr. Moss. Coroner, nothing today. All right, how about from the clerk's office? Tiger with public safety.
Judge, we put the burn ban in, like last Friday and so forth. If we get the rain we're supposed to get, if I can, take it back, we will notify the media as quick as possible and let them know that, we have lifted the burn ban. We've been very fortunate, not had any, grass fires or wood fires come out, anything to start with. We're just kind of going into, the dry times there last week and the wind this past weekend. We're watching it daily, and as quick as we can, really ain't gonna be able to do it.
Okay. So is that burn ban, does that include, is that all fires or is that, can they grill? What does that include? Is that,
Personally, grilling and stuff like that should be fine, but, it says no burn, I don't know that, at the UK ball game the other day, they wouldn't even let them grill there in the parking lot, so, like I said, hopefully if we get the rain tomorrow, we'll release it, at least they can burn the grills and stuff like that.
okay,
Our intention.
thank you. Road Department, Jordan?
Couple things. First thing, we need to approve your road work request.
Motion.
We have a motion to approve the road work request, and second, any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
And secondly, we got information back, or specs back from Geotech to do the Rockwick project slide. I'd like to ask permission to put it out for bid.
Entertain a motion to.
Motion to bid.
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you. Then would be our solid waste, Danny or Misty.
Couple of things. First off, we had our 109 board meeting last night and did some interviews for some positions. First position would be to hire Aaron Blackatour as a truck driver with CDL to replace Bob West upon his retirement. This will be paid for by solid waste.
Motion. Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
That'll take effect November 28th.
Motion carries.
And then 4 names for part-time starting November 28th. That's Melvin Burton, Brian Phillips, Caleb Mosier, and Mark Hammond. These are all part-time paid for by 109 board.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second, any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you. Misty's got some properties on our ordinance.
I attached pictures of each of these properties for you guys. The first one is 110 Breezy Hills Drive. Just needs to be mowed by the county.
Do them one at a time, you're gonna do them all.
That doesn't matter how you want me to do them.
Second.
All of, 3 of them are mow and 1 of them is to remove a vehicle.
You need to do them one at a time, Mark, can we just do them all?
Are they all to be mowed?
3 of the 4 are to be mowed.
3 that are to be mowed.
Okay. The second one is 440 Breezy Hills and the third one is 258 Mark Street.
Motion to mow all 3.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to do these mowings. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? While I've got my young people here, I'm gonna address this. Take pride in yourselves as you're growing up. A lot of these properties that she's showing us pictures of are properties that the homeowners, the property owners have just let go, and they're just basically not being very responsible to their community. And because of their irresponsibility, the county has to come behind them and take care of these properties. And I just want to challenge you all to have pride about everything you do. Picking up trash, don't litter, don't neglect things. Just take pride in your property and what's around you, and be an example for people in this community, because we've got some that certainly aren't being examples here. But I want to challenge you kids while you're here. Thank you, Misty, for doing that.
And then the last one that I have is a burned-out vehicle on a property in a subdivision. Guess we just need to remove the vehicle. We've not talked to Dan, our board attorney, yet, but I'm sure that we'll be able to sell that, take it to a scrapyard and get rid of it, so.
Is it?
Motion.
We have a motion. Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. All right, I skipped 911 unintentionally,
I don't know
Aaron.
whether you guys can see or not, but this is the car she's talking about. I mean, it's just real junky, and that's one thing that those guys really do. They go out and do a good job cleaning stuff up out there.
What'd you say? Nothing there? Okay. All right, Adam, do you have anything from Animal Control? Appreciate your open house you had for the public this weekend. It was a good crowd there, and y'all have done a great job, and the place looked great. And I think that people all around us are starting to notice our shelter, and we've had a lot of visitors come to see what we're doing right. So thank you for giving your efforts there. Thank you all for being supportive, because I think people are noticing that we're the lead in this area. All right. Tiffany, do you have anything from community development? All right, that'll bring us to our treasurer's report.
I have a few things today. I do have a supplemental bill list. It has mostly, some things that we needed to get paid, the ambulance purchase, firefighter incentives, and some utilities. So I'd request that be approved.
Motion.
Motion, do we have a second? Second. Other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Okay, I also have 4 fund transfers, and all of the fund transfers are transfers from occupational tax from the general fund to the various departments from the occupational tax proceeds.
Motion to transfer. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
You'll also see that I have given you for your review, it's a copy of the audit report for fiscal year ending June 30, 2015. So that is just for your review. It is now complete and in the books. And one other update is that all 6 ambuli that have been purchased are now with the EMS board. We got those home with no incident, and thank the court, and I think the community will thank the court when they get done. And that's all from the treasurer's office.
Thank you.
I've seen a couple of them that are complete, and they're really nice.
They do
Guys
look really
like
good.
them.
One other thing for the court, EMS at our last meeting, they will be having their annual Christmas dinner on December the 13th at 6 p.m. at the Fire Training Center, and they have invited the court to attend.
Sounds good.
When is that, John?
December the 13th. if you want, when it gets closer, I can shoot you out a text and let you know. And that's all I have today. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. All right, how about our committee that reviewed the bids? Mr. Price, did you?
Judge, I recommend that we reviewed the bids with Ryan and I. We recommend that we accept E&H Bridge. They're the ones that met the spec as required.
And it was 37,603?
Yes.
Total on that?
Yes.
Okay, At the recommendation of our bid committee, you entertain a motion to accept E&H Bridge with their bid?
Motion.
Second. A motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, well, I've got something I meant to bring up in new business. I'm gonna bring it up now. We've got a need here in this community. I think it's been growing for several years, but a lot of our children, and parents, you're aware of this, a lot of our children are involved in a lot of sports activities, and anymore, it just seems like our children are going out of town every weekend for tournaments, for this, that, or the other. And we have a need, I think, for a facility that will accommodate our children in all their indoor sports. And I'm wanting to try to look into doing an indoor sports complex, which would be a multi-gym facility under roof that would accommodate not only basketball, but we have soccer, we have volleyball, we have archery. Be able to put off sections that they could do batting practice for the baseball teams and softball teams.
That's just the cheerleading.
And cheerleading and gymnastics, yes, absolutely. Any indoor sport, basically, we want to be able to accommodate under one roof. And I've talked with the city and some of the counselors there, and they would like to see us work on this. And so what I would want to do is just kind of start the ball rolling here to get people talking about it. In order to do that, I'd like to get permission to approach an architect to see if we can get a preliminary drawing, nothing, full detail, but a preliminary drawing that'll show a building and some courts and parking, and just something that'll give us a talking point that we can have and go and meet and get this process started. And I don't know the cost of that, but I'm gonna say if I can't get it done for under $10,000, then I'll back up and we'll try again. But I think we can approach an architect to get us what we need to start the process of these negotiations. But I'd like to ask permission to try to get an architect to do that up to $10,000.
Is the city gonna help pay for that architect, or
I haven't asked them to. I just know that this has been talked about for years and nothing's getting done, so I wanted to try to get us to take the lead and start
If we
going.
do a architect and a drawing and everything else, where will we generate the funding to build the building and to keep it up and everything down the road? Are we gonna charge these people when they come in to use it? We can't do that 'cause we're
We'll have
county.
to, Lynn, that's gonna have to be something that we look at after we bring everybody together and say, here's what we wanna see. Now, how do we get there? It's gonna be, this won't happen anytime right away. It's gonna take a couple of years to get something like this pulled off, but we've got to start somewhere, and this is the start, just to get us a model that we can look at and talk about, and then we can make changes to it as we go, once everybody's in agreement. But I envision a partnership with the Pulaski County government and the city government, and also I've got some local landowners that I think are gonna be willing to donate land to help us get this going. And I think, once we start, we'll find that there are some grant possibilities for these things, and then we'll probably have to do some bonding with the city as well. So it'll be an investment, but I think it's an investment that will be huge for our youth, for our children, and it'll generate a lot of revenue for our residents, and it'll bring a lot of tourism into our area and fill our hotels. I mean, if you've been to these places, you see that on every weekend there's thousands of people involved, and they come with their families, and everybody that comes, if they travel any distance, they will stay overnight. They will go to our local restaurants. They will shop while they're not playing. So it's a great revenue generator for this area, and it's a great opportunity to have our youth to have a facility where they can compete statewide and nationally, and you know, we see a lot of these bigger cities turning out these champions over and over and over and over, and we've got quality kids to do it. We just need facilities that allow them to be better. So this is just a starting point.
How much are we talking about total project-wise?
Jason, I don't know until we see it. I imagine something like this could easily cost $5 million for a big facility that would has it, but I don't know until we get architectural drawings and agree on what's going to be there, and then we can do a request for proposal and see what kind of ideas come forth, and then at that point we can decide whether we want to go forward with it or not. But this initial study, or this, you know, just is trying to get something that we can have to bring people to the table to start discussing this. I would entertain a motion if one of y'all would allow us to do that.
Joan, the next question is you. I mean, we got money or?
We could, for a preliminary study, $10,000, we can probably swing that. But then it's gonna take a lot of seeing, you know, what we want, what you all got, what you guys want, what you need, and all that for this.
Okay, well, if there's no motion, we'll let this die for lack of a motion. All right, next item I've got then is Christmas parade is December 3rd. I think it's 5 o'clock, is that right? Tiffany?
Christmas parade starts at 5, but Christmas on the Square begins at 2 downtown.
Okay, Christmas on the Square begins at 2, and you're gonna have, you wanna,
Yeah, I'll tell.
Talk to-
So basically, there's a few things going on. We have Vendor Village, which will begin at 2 on the plaza with just different vendors set up. Santa will be there at 2:30 to kick off the book walk. So he'll read the first story, and then you can go around to the other businesses to hear other stories. The parade begins at 5, and then immediately after the parade, the tree lighting ceremony will begin, probably about 6:45. So, lots of fun. Hands up. Yeah.
and I've got one other item. We've got a retirement at our road department. Soup is retired. That's what everybody knows him as Soup. Ivan is retiring, but we want to fill that spot, and I would like to recommend Brian Strunk to come in
Motion.
and fill that position.
Second.
A motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? And we'll start him, Joan, as soon as possible. What would be a good date for payroll purposes?
When can he, is he available at any time? Do we know, 2 week
He's
notice?
working at Hendrickson. I'm sure he would like to give
2
them.
weeks notice?
You guys talked to him, right?
Does he need to give he wants to give a 2 week notice?
The next pay period.
Well, that wouldn't give a chance for 2 week notice, because our pay period has just ended, so.
The other guys are starting on December 1st.
You could?
I don't know.
Uh,
We'll do the following pay period, Joan, that way.
Well, actually, he could probably, with the new payroll, with the new time clock system, it makes it a lot easier for Donita to do this. Probably he could start at his
12th. 12th better.
the 12th. And that will that be a skilled labor position, am I correct?
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
soup is, skilled labor position.
Got a motion and a second? All in favor?
You gonna call him?
Or did we already vote? I'll start talking. I got.
He's hired.
Oh, he's hired, so we can't undo that. All right, I'm sorry. Off track there. All right, anything else? All right, no further business, then we'll take a motion to adjourn.
We got citizens back there.
I've already got a motion to adjourn. Can we get you on the agenda for next time to talk to that? Yeah, I've already got a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? Opposed? If you don't mind, if we can get on the agenda for next time, but yeah, once we make the,
If you don't mind, ask the clerk to stay around and talk to the kids.
all right, well, thank you all for coming, and our colonels, hang around, and magistrates, if you all want to talk to the kids, I'm sure we'd love to have you all talk about what you do here.
Sent out an email to county.
Oh, thank you.